Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Weaponized Conada, a helicopter that should have been released into the game last DLC as part of the Los Santos Drug Wars. Why? Well, we had the Conada released in part of that DLC, and what's quite irritating is that Rockstar is making this an entirely different helicopter. So, if you had your hopes up thinking, wow, I've already owned the Conada, can I get my hands on the Weaponized Conada? To what I'm aware right now, no. It's a completely separate helicopter that you're not able to interchange between. And where do you buy this helicopter? Well, at Warstock Cash and Carry for $3.4 million. That is quite expensive for what I would quite simply put a faster buzzard. In today's video, I'll be showcasing to you everything you want to know about this helicopter. Now, the first thing I should say, because there are probably going to be people asking me in the comments, how did I get my hands on this helicopter? I can't see it on my Warstock. And quite simply put, this is part of drip feed content. As of right now, you're not going to be able to get your hands on this helicopter, but with some helpful things, I've been able to showcase drip feed content a bit ahead of time. And that is exactly what I'm doing with the Conada here. So I thought I'd start off showcasing the upgrades. As we can see, you've got armor upgrades, engine, but there's really not much. You got all the normal things that you can get for any upgraded vehicle, but as you can see, you don't get to choose what weapons you put on the helicopter, which is kind of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. So when it comes to the actual upgrades, you got some liveries, you got a respray, and that's about it. So let's actually exit the hangar and see what this helicopter has going for it. The first thing is it does have missiles, and I'm actually a bit disappointed with the missiles. As you'll notice, these are only really the double shot missiles that you'll find on a vehicle like the Laser, the Hydra, or even the Raiju now, which makes absolutely no sense. We can literally see that there are quad missile launchers on both sides of the helicopter. The exact same quad missile launchers that you'll find on something like the Akula or the Savage, which is kind of ironic because of the fact that you literally can only shoot 2 missiles at a time before you have to reload them. So, yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. As I said, it's basically just a faster buzzard, because the only other weaponry you have is a Gatling gun, which is the exact same type of weapon you would get on the buzzard. So, yeah, first looks at this helicopter are not insane. However, there is one saving grace when it comes to the Conada, and that is its top speed and overall handling. When it comes to the helicopters class in general, especially the weaponized helicopters, normally they have a lot of downsides for the upsides they feature. For example, the Sparrow, it's fast, but it can only fly fast for a certain amount of time because it's constantly slowly going on a downhill gradient, which means if you keep flying at max speed, you're going to crash into something. It's also not the most durable. Literally, the slightest bump can cause the helicopter to completely blow up. So the Sparrow's got some upsides, and it's got some downsides. If you get a beefier helicopter out, for example, the Akula, or how about the F1 Hunter, those helicopters are very big and lumbersome, and the problem is, even though they've got decent top speeds, they struggle when it comes to the overall handling and maneuverability, especially when missiles are fired at them. They struggle to dodge them. The Conada, I gotta be honest, this thing is really just absolutely amazing on its handling. You can see just how quick I can turn the Conada here. I mean, I can fully spin the entire helicopter around with no problem whatsoever, which is actually really, really impressive. So, mobility-wise, the Conada is crazy on its overall handling. I mean, it's very rare to use a helicopter that can just turn this easily. It's actually really nice, I have to say. I did not expect to like this helicopter as much as I am when it comes to the overall flying. Not only does the Conada fly very, very well, and it's super responsive, but the best part, it is incredibly fast. It flies, to what I've tested, at a top speed over 180 miles per hour. You can actually see my speedo activated right now, and we're going 184. All you need to do is slow down a teeny bit, tilt the helicopter downward, and it very easily crosses the 180 mile per hour threshold. And even if you're just flying it normally, even going uphill, this thing is fast. I mean, you can see, we're literally chilling here at 180. This is by far the fastest helicopter in the game. Previously, the fastest we had is the Sparrow at 168 miles per hour. And obviously, the Sparrow's main struggle is that it flies downhill, as I said. The Conada, no problem whatsoever. You can actually tilt this helicopter downhill, pick up some crazy fast speed. Again, you can see we're going upwards of 190 here. And look at this, we are already going uphill again. Because of this, the Conada is by far one of the most enjoyable weaponized vehicles I've used in a very long time. It is incredibly fast, faster than the majority of planes. It features missiles, features a decent machine gun, although you'll probably never use it, but it's just the fact that it's so dang fast. I mean, look at that, over 200 miles per hour if we just tilt it a bit down and then give it the gas. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how well the Conada performs and its overall handling. But good things come to an end. For starters, let's compare the Conada to the Sparrow. The Sparrow is about half the price tag, which is already a flat win. Not only is the Sparrow cheaper than the Conada, but it features better missile capabilities because instead of going 1-2 and then waiting, 3-4 seconds to fire them again, with the Sparrow, I can just hold the fire button, no problems whatsoever. I will keep shooting missile, and missile, and missile. So with the Sparrow, you don't have to worry about ever running out of missiles in at least a strafing run or anything like that. You can just keep shooting over and over and over. The Sparrow also features flares. Even though the Conada is much more maneuverable and mobile than the Sparrow, it's not that much faster. It's only about 15 miles per hour faster, and in terms of flying, that's only like a couple seconds to actually get you from point A to point B. But not only that, as I said, this vehicle features flares, so if you ever have a missile fired at you, guess what? You can just use your flares, and it's not chasing you anymore. If you're in a Conada, yeah, you're going to have to be very, very cautious because those missiles are still going to be going right towards you, and you're going to have to use that maneuverability it has to actually dodge them. Some other things I like about the Sparrow: first of all, you can call it in wherever you want, whenever you want. It's very simple. You go to services, you go to Kosatka, and boom, I request my Sparrow. Even if I blow up the Sparrow, it instantly gets returned to my Kosatka. I just have to wait 2 minutes and I can call it back again instantly. And the best part about the Sparrow is it spawns wherever and whenever I want it to. So if I'm standing right on the highway, boom, I call my Sparrow, it's right next to me. It's literally just like a car spawn. The same cannot be said for the Weaponized Conada. If, let's say, I called in my vehicle, I'm going into my interaction menu, I go to vehicles, and I scroll through it until I find the Weaponized Conada. Once I do that, I'm going to, let's say I'm here on the map, right? If I call in my Weaponized Conada, it's not going to spawn near me. I'm probably going to have to drive at least 1 or 2 miles to get to where the helicopter spawns because there's no airstrips or suitable areas to actually get in the helicopter. As I said, when it comes to the Sparrow, you just call it in, instantly spawn next to you. No problem whatsoever. But not only do you have to drive to where the Conada spawns, just like any other flying vehicle, but it also counts as your own personal vehicle. So you can't use your own car or anything like that to actually get to the helicopter that you spawned in. I think that's really stupid. I think Rockstar should make planes and helicopters like they've done the Sparrow, where it is a personal vehicle, but it's a secondary personal vehicle, just like Pegasus. I think that would be a much better way of regulating how you can still spawn in your car, drive over to the helicopter you spawned in. Rockstar won't ever do that, but that's how I would do it. Either way, there are definitely some upsides when it comes to the Conada. As I said, that maneuverability is insane. But to be completely honest, a Sparrow is cheaper by quite a bit. The Sparrow is still very fast. It features flares. It's way better on spawn locations. And it's just a better helicopter. I'm going to be real. It's just a better helicopter. The Weaponized Conada is more of a gimmick rather than something you're probably going to use, even if you pick it up. And for the price tag Rockstar is asking, it's just not worth it. So, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments down below. But, yeah, I definitely would say that the Weaponized Conada just isn't worth the price. If Rockstar had given the Weaponized Conada, let's say, the ability to non-stop fire missiles and to spawn next to you, easily a great helicopter. Unfortunately, that's not the case, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.